Okay, I've got that edge all sanded, nice and smooth. I did resand it some because it did have a couple little dimples and a couple of spots that I thought would affect how the final edge looked. So I sanded it down here and on here. I went back over with a little bit more dye along the edges, and now it's time to do some burnishing. First thing I'm going to do is wet that edge. That's the thing, you got to make sure the dye is completely dry before you wet it. Some people though, they like to burnish their edges while the dye is wet, and looks like they get some pretty good results with that, so that's cool. I'm going to take my burnisher and just start. Now I'm going to need this part. Well, burnishing. Why do we burnish edges? Well, they gotta look pretty, like everything else. If you're gonna take the time to do it, might as well do it in a way that it looks good. Okay, you can see already I'm starting to get a bit of shine on that edge. And I think y'all get the idea what this burnishing is about. You moisten it and just rub the heck out of it. Do it along the sides where the bevel is. You don't need to soak the edge. Just wet it just a bit. And that fast, I've almost got the wet burnish done. Well, I'm going to work on this a little bit more, and we'll be back. Alright, I got the wet burnishing done. That's looking pretty good. There's the bottom of it. Now, I know that it won't stay this way because all I used was water and burnished it. So what I'm going to do is put some gum trag on it, or it's called gum tragicant, gum trag for short. And what that'll do is it'll hold down the fibers so it'll stay good looking longer, but not very long. When I do the final top coat on this, I'm also going to top coat my burnished edges, and that'll keep them good looking for a long time. The gum trag, well, it works pretty good right now. And it gives me a nice burnished edge. It won't stay that way. You got to put something on top of it to protect it. Doesn't take a lot. You don't have to put great huge globs on it. Just a nice thin coat. And in fact, I'll just start on this. I'll give it a second or two to soak in and maybe blow on it, let it dry a little, and then burnish it. Same way, same thing. Now, it starts out looking kind of dull, and you're thinking, oh no, I ruined it. But you haven't. Just keep going, and the shine will come back. There you go, you can see the shine coming back on that. And again, I'm going to burnish this edge, and we'll come back and see how they look. Okay, that's the burnished edge there now. Hope y'all catch the light glinting off of it and the bottom part. Now the next step is going to be to wet form this thing so it better fits around this thing. And then after the wet forming has completely dried, we'll go ahead and start the process of putting a finish coat on this thing. Now what I do for a finish coat is I'll start out with some pure neat's foot oil. They have like neat's foot formulations and such, and I don't like using those. Basically, neat's foot comes out of a cow. I call it cow juice. And what it does is it puts the moisture back into the moisture and oils back into leather, because when you mold leather or even just dyeing it when you dye the leather and it dries, it takes some of those oils with it. I like to put it back. And once the neat's foot has time to soak in, because it never dries, use just a thin coat of it and it soaks in. Then I'll do my final top coat with some tan coat and buff it out. Sometime in there, I'm going to punch the hole in here for this to go through. And we'll see y'all next time.